What's something you did during Shreks that was so stupid you still facepalm about it today? Hi Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will block all the videos. In college my girlfriend was riding me in my dark bedroom me summer night. She was vigorously gyrating that I could feel her sweat dripping on me. Afterward we kissed and cuddled. When we turned on the light we discovered she had a bloody nose and her blood was all over my neck and chest. May I ask, what happened to make her nose bleed? Or was she one of those that nose bleed easily? She used to get them occasionally. It's weird, because I can count on one hand the number of bloody noses I've had in my life. Some people are just prone to it I suppose. This was a bit of a misunderstanding, but when my boyfriend and I first got together, I was going to give him a blowjob so I took the gum out of my mouth and I thought I put it in the trash bin. I did not. After we finished I went to the bathroom and saw gum all over my hair. I guess it was still on my hand when I put my hair up with a hair tie. So I said, man, this takes me back to my childhood, referring to the gum stuck in my hair. When I walked back into his room, his face had changed from happy bliss to complete concern. After a pause he finally says he was so sorry and that we didn't have to do that again. He hadn't seen the gum in my hair. He thought I was talking about a childhood filled with blowjobs. Once we figured out the mix-up, he was still a bit shaken by my childhood. I haven't been fricked like that since grade school. Marla. Fight Club. Geez, that sounds awkward. At least you know he cared though. One girl I was with in high school was on top, and I had to fart real bad. I wasn't sure what to do so I just tried to hold it in. She started to get more into it and picked up the pace, which caused a series of tiny rhythmic farts every time she came down. It sounded like a machine gun. She stopped and asked if I farted and I blamed the squeaky bed. She knew. I don't know if I've ever laughed so hard at something on Reddit. It's the description. Tiny rhythmic farts. I feel like I was there. I had Shreks with a deaf chick and I was moaning really loud, but she couldn't hear it, so I gave her a thumbs up for half of it. It became an inside joke. This is kinda sweet though lol. As a hearing impaired person I genuinely love this. Hilariously I find this very wholesome XD. I asked my boyfriend to talk dirty to me. In the middle of Shreks he starts saying in my ear frick you. Frick you. I let it happen and afterwards burst out laughing telling him to never do that again. Frick you. Frick me yourself, you coward. I'm gonna frick your freaking fanny off, you twat. My husband was trying to talk dirty to me and finished a sentence calling me a silly goose. Shreks was postponed for a good 15 minutes while I laughed my ass off. Calling me a silly goose. I'm gonna make you honk so hard. Junk. You like that, you silly goose. An old girlfriend of mine said she wanted to be slapped while we were going at it. After 100% ensuring she really wanted to be slapped, I slapped her. I missed her cheek and smacked her right in the nose. She yelled, "Ow, frick," but thankfully didn't hold it against me. The classic guys don't know how to slap during Shreks. They either do it too lightly, or knock the sonic rings out of your ass. Holds true. Thank God there's been no accidental nose hits over here, though. Lmao. At least she took it like a champ. Knock the sonic rings out of your ass is possibly the best phrase of all time. He said arch your back while we were doing it doggy style and I arched it the wrong way, up, and he had to say no the other way. Oh my god. Scared cat pose. I'm dying. I read this to boyfriend and he called it the dog taking a dump pose and I cannot stop my mad cackling. Getting my wife's bra off. Too many damn straps and crap. I muttered Rubik's boob and we started laughing so hard we killed the moment. The first time he went down on me he had a slight cold and I was super nervous. So he's going at it, right up in there and my brain decided to ask him how's your nose? He just looked up at me, shook his head, and kept going. Thankfully. Lmao. Reminds me of the first time I went down on a guy. I had told him it was my first time trying it, and I'm going at it just fine for a couple of minutes. then randomly pull back, look up at him, and say I just don't want you to be bored. I've never seen such a rich, are you serious look in my entire life. It still makes me laugh to think about. My boyfriend gave me that same look my first time when I stopped to ask if I was doing okay. Getting hot and heavy with my girlfriend in bed, making out and getting ready to start the main event. We're whispering back and forth to each other when I say, I wanna be inside you, To which she immediately responded, what did you say? After a very confusing moment, I realized she thought I said, I want to pee inside you. It kinda killed the mood. By the way, freaking autocorrect almost made me post this as getting hot and heavy with my grandfather in bed. Glad I'm a paranoid proofreader. The autocorrect has me dying. A girl invited me over to her house to watch the Wonder Woman movie. While we're watching it she starts kissing on me and teasing me. I said what about the movie? She says to me come on to the bedroom it'll be better than the movie and while we're going at it she says see isn't this better than the movie? And before I could catch myself I said I don't know I haven't seen the rest of the movie. Bro. She, who's very insecure, queefs very loud and leans forward. Looks back at me, lips shaking like she's going to cry. I'm not grossed out or anything but I do kinda feel bad for her. I seize this opportunity to let out a fart that I'd been holding in, and followed up with it's okay, I do it too sometimes. It was unsuccessful. She just started bawling sad face. What the frick bro that was the perfect save too. Great attempted save Thowan king face. It's a shame that queefs have been painted as gross. It's air escaping, big deal. Kudos to you my man for normalizing queefs and trying to comfort her. I never got why people think it's gross. It's a fundamentally hilarious thing to happen. If you can't laugh during Shreks you're not doing it right. My very first time, with a gal who was out of my league. We tripped off our clothes and were making out, and both of us totally naked I said so. What next? Do I ask for a blowjob? She laughed it off and said let me take the lead on this one. I miss her. I miss her too. Not me, but my girlfriend and I were in the middle of Shreksy times and we had been wanting to get more comfortable with dirty talk and after a little bit of back and forth she said, how bad do you want this dong? I mean, pussy we just laughed it off. But she still gets embarrassed thinking about it to this day. I've gotten oh yeah put your tits between my clock before the mayo. One time I slipped off the bed and literally fell out of her. I imagined this happening with a little cartoon cork popping noise. A cork popping, me screaming, and a splat. Lost my virginity to a girl with an IUD, so we just kinda raw dogged it. Basically I nutted in like 30 seconds, but didn't wanna disappoint so I just kept going for like 15 minutes till she was like yo are you good? And I told her I nutted like ages ago and we laughed. Bet she never forget your limp spaghetti. Not really bad, but weird. I was having Shreks with my girlfriend in the missionary position and out of nowhere she stuck her middle finger up my ass. No warning or anything. What really freaked me out was I came instantly. Didn't have any control over it. One of my friends in undergraduate had a similar situation and now he's really into being pegged. No judging, just warning. Don't threaten me with a good time. So when I'm drunk and tired I start saying extremely weird things with no recollection of it afterwards. Shreks is no exception here unfortunately. The worst thing I've said was probably my reply to her how was it, when I supposedly just dryly shrugged and said nothing to be proud of. When I first started dating my wife, we went out one night and I got hammered ass drunk and she, didn't. We went back to her place. I was on top and apparently started slurring something about my emotions right as I finished then promptly passed out. It's been like 12 years and she will still randomly ask about my emotions when losing my virginity. So how was it? Like I expected. I still cringe. All went according to plan. I once asked a girl if she came and she said she didn't know. I told her you probably did. You probably did. Brannigan's law is like Brannigan's love. Hard and fast. So, we just started to have normal Shreks. After a while he probably thought it was Shreksy or whatever to ask me in a disguised voice how I want him to frick me. Yeah, well, that different sounding voice just confused me in that moment so much that I just blankly stared at him for a couple of seconds without either of us saying anything until I started to choke on my own saliva and we had to take a break so I could drink something. It was awkward. Very. You were so confused about what happened that you forgot to swallow your own saliva. Damn. I was nervous around my first college crush. After a few weeks of talking I finally got her into my room. We were on my bed making out, getting touchy-feely. I realized pretty quickly that she wasn't wearing any panties under her short shorts. I looked down and said, "I can see your vag, AJ." She laughed awkwardly, said she had to go, and we never spoke romantically again. You were not yet ready, child. Reminds me of my first time with my girlfriend where we were trying to figure out what we were even doing. She reached into my underwear and with a coy face said, "What's this?" And I looked her straight in the eyes and responded, "That's my dong." Luckily we both found it pretty damn funny and were able to continue on with our activities. But definitely not my slickest moment looking back. The emojis got me. Thanks for that. I can see your vag, AJ. First time I ever encountered a PP, I audibly said, "Mer, it's squishy." It still haunts me. She still brings it up, and I work with her uncle and cousin. This was 15 years ago. Shreks with a bald girl. I'm hitting from the back and I'm super horny, and in the moment I couldn't think of an alternative to hair pulling, so I just grabbed her head like a freaking basketball. She starts dying laughing immediately. Lumpheo, I'm dying picturing this RN. Pro tip. Tits exist. Plungers exists as well. Okay Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will block all the videos.